Hi everyone, this is the Lady Strange. Welcome to my altar room and welcome to another installment episode of Tales of My Personal Hauntings. Now today is not going to have a specific theme, this episode is. I'm just doing it for the hell of it because I feel like it and because it's my channel. And I have, as an introvert, I have one way of rambling, which is on here. So yeah, so with that being said, grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, libation, depending on the type of day, meaning an adult one. I am drinking my lovely, one of my favorite lovely, Twinings, wow, I can't think, I just uploaded a video, yeah, maybe that's what it took on my energy. Earl Grey lavender tea in this gorgeous cauldron cup. Hail thyself, hail thy magic, and hail the magic. And of course, hail the tea. So, with that being said, before I get too stumbly here and stuff and whatever, and I got other things to do on my day off today, such as my husband's birthday, check out his channel, and I'm giving him a shout out at You and Your Horror Movies if you like horror movies or horror collections of various figures and nostalgia, and just a great channel. Yeah, he's my husband, but why not? I give him a plug on my channel. And of course, because I'm a fan of horror movies too, and hence the paranormal, and hence this. So I'm just going to go with some random fun tandem things, like I said, for the hell of it. So, you can sit in, strap in, or turn back now. Choice is yours. So, basically, I'm going to start off with, I'm just going to point out things that of random experiences that I come to my mind that I'd like to share that I haven't shared yet, at least officially in one of these videos or one of these installments. Now that is going to be random things that have happened to me throughout my life, paranormal or magical experiences. I haven't had this one, I haven't had as much lately. I have had it in my teens and especially in my early 20s when I was first officially on my witchcraft path, which I started at 15. There's videos within the past couple last year and that talking where my path originated from and how my path has been crooked. Now it's on the left-hand path, that is. But that's where I always should have belonged. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, whatever. I am where I'm supposed to be and evolving that. So let's get to the topic at hand. So that is lights going out. Bulbs bursting, street lights. Now, if you are, whether or not you are a witch or practitioner or magician of any sort, or you just have very powerful creative energy or energy within yourself or strength of will, etc., you're connected, any of the above or whatever the case is, lights going out and not once or twice, no, constant. Now, when I was in my early 20s, this happened to me all the time. Light bulbs and fuses constantly blew. Again, started my path at 15, so this had to have been probably around 20 to 22. A lot of it happened, but it started happening before then. Be riding in a car, and every other one would go out. So, a indicator of spirits and magical energy, creative energy, and just magic, and that will, and that strength, and that power, and anything else of a witch or magician, is lights are affected. Your energetic and electromagnetic field focuses that, but the universe also synchronizes with you. Hence, these types of experiences, synchronicities, and magic. That's what magic is, a big part of magic. We affect, as witches and magicians, we affect the universe affects us. We're not separate, we are all a part, and we affect each other as a collective in this human experience. So that is one thing. A lot of fuses would go out, like I said, lights would go out and break out, go in and out, things like that. That's just a simple thing that came to mind first. Now, I will mention one of my strange things with light once to go, because this, again, is Tale of Paranormal Experiences. So I'm going to tie one into that. And again, I might do more of these episodes. This is just whatever flies. So, basically, I was in my first apartment with my roommate, whom I mentioned in previous videos in the beginning of my Tales of Personal Hauntings, who is also a witch. I believe still is. I haven't talked to her in many years and tried to limit my contact. Whatever. I have good reasons. Many good reasons. But at the time, we were best friends. And, yeah. So, basically being young, in our early 20s, and we had a friend stay with us too, because he had to, and he was also a witch. So, yes, young, high energy. Masculine, feminine, whatever the case is. Young, developing, empowered, and that the thing of you're learning your path, you're out on your own, that type of thing. So this was my first apartment. Now this is where I mentioned things about the Ouija board experiences and other stuff. Same apartment. If you want to go back and check that out, there is a playlist for this. So basically, the apartment, other than the kitchen, most of it was not safe. The bedroom, yeah, it was a one-bedroom apartment. We all just shared, again, whatever the case. That was pretty much, the bathroom was awful, the living room was awful. Yes, and I see spirits behind me. But, don't talk to me. Story of my life. Okay, so basically, there was a night when I was sleeping on the couch. Now, because my roommate was sleeping in the room, and the guy that was my friend, our friend at the time, should I say, he was sleeping in the bedroom. So at that point, there's no room. So I slept on the couch in the living room at that point. Big living room, beautiful dark hardwood everywhere, dark wood hardwood floor. So it's expansive, but the energy was always screwed up and fucked up. Let's put it that way. No one liked to stay in that room. Not many people did, let alone even hang out there on a regular, consistent basis in the living room. So basically, I was to get to the point at hand because I'm rambling. So I was asleep, deep sleep, and I don't know if I was astral projecting. I'm assuming I was astral projecting and journeying. I always have for my whole life. I do realize that now. Sometimes by choice, or sometimes I'm dragged into it. Whatever the case is, again, that's irrelevant. So, I was asleep. And I remember all of a sudden in my sleep, in a deep sleep, I woke up and I hear a weird zzz, like zzz, or like crackle, like really quick. I'm talking like that. And it was like I was thrown back into my body. So yes, obviously, like I said. And I felt a lot of presences around me. And I felt, overwhelmed, scared, out of breath. I have heart problems. They didn't really surface then, or I'd known of them, but I did. So the heart racing, sweaty, all that stuff. And what the fuck's going on? That's what I was thinking. And it was black, of course. My roommate did not like to sleep with lights on, even a night light. Yeah, she's rather bitchy about that. Even if you fell in night, who cares? She was like. So basically, and I'm more of a night light and light person. But that's his stories for other times. So I was having a situation where I was scared and that. So it was pitch black. But it wasn't because I realized it was pitch black. I thought for some reason the power went out. I mean, I don't know why, but cognitively, my conscious self thought the power went out. And that it was imperative for me to get some type of light on. Now, did I think of going and switching the lights on with the light switch? No. Of course, you're half awake, half conscious, so to say. Maybe a foot between the astral and the earthly realm, whatever the case. So, and that just must be the theme for this video, whatever the case. Gotta have a sense of humor. So, basically, I go, and there was a lighter. Luckily, there was this huge, one of those huge 3-wick candles from Yankee Candles that was on our kitchen table. Somehow I found a lighter, and I was trying to light it, and then I finally realized, and I turned the lamp and the light switch on, thinking that, and it started coming down, started coming to reality. I knew there was presences involved, and I do know that something must have came at me in the astral, or in that room, or both, meaning spirits, that is, or entities of some sort. And that's why I was thrown back into my body, and hence the zip noise. Yeah. If you know, you know, trust me, with that sound, or that feeling, the energies of being crashed back into yourself, your physical body and consciousness, the falling, the slamming, the what the hell happened type of thing. Well, yeah, as I get calm, she comes out screaming at me. And I'm trying to explain to her, and of course, she's not rational. No surprise. So, do I believe I was somewhere journeying and in the astral? Yes. Do I believe that also something in the apartment affected me at the same time? Yes. Do I believe that my consciousness and my subconsciousness were highly affected and disturbing? Do I believe that maybe I encountered something dangerous on the astral and I was due to have to come back so that I would be back in my physical body in this vessel? Yes, yes, and yes. That was very notable because it was just always stuck with me, as many of these tales of my personal hauntings and my paranormal experiences do. So, we talked about streetlights. We talked about that. There's lights again. Power going out, potentially in my mind or my consciousness, and trying to bring lights about. Light in the dark. That type of thing. I know more about that now as I've grown and evolved and matured and experienced my path has evolved. But, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's name another one, not to just be on here. So, here's an obvious one that we all have happened, whether or not you are a witch or a practitioner or magician, or whether you're just an average Joe. Nothing wrong with any of those things. We all have magic within us. It's just what our path is what our path is. So, I'm going to take a sip of tea for my rambles here. So delicious. So, next is saying things going missing. I probably mentioned it in several videos ago, several times, how you know if you watch any of my weekly collective readings or you want to go back to that playlist. I just uploaded one. Feel free to do so if you feel so inclined. But mentioned about that beautiful out-of-print Haunted Manor Oracle. Maybe it will get a reprint. I hope so. Many people would like it. At least I know 1 or 2 people that would like to in my life from CMI. Well, she most recently went missing. Now, my decks live around my house. I don't keep them in a specific spot. I'm just being real here. Tanya is Tanya. So, they live around my house. They have certain nesting spots. Sometimes it's moved. Well, spirits and energies like to move them. Even my husband's realized that now, even though he's very open-minded, very tolerant, and very respectful, and very enlightened, but he's not on this path that I'm on. And again, that's fine too. We respect each other. That's what the thing is respect. The world is sadly lacking respect. Well, spirits moving stuff and hiding stuff. That deck I looked for almost 5 to 6 weeks. I used it in December. It's one of the decks Hades likes to guide me with, and he stepped forward for me through a very troubled time to help me and to help me regain my footings and my perspective after much travel, months starting at right before Samhain. So, all of a sudden it went missing. I did not bring it out of the house. I looked high and low. My husband looked high and low because he knows I love the Haunted Manor Oracle. As I said, she's a lusty, chatty, divine deck. Dark but evocative and effective, and reminds me of certain other realms and energies and the Victorian and the Gothic. So, yes, there's a dozen reasons I could definitely gush over that deck. So was I devastated? Yes. Was I panicked and frantic? Yes. And I looked and I re-looked here, even in my messy altar room. So, yes. But I'm working on it. Working and moving forward is better than not moving and digressing. So, basically, I looked in several places, including under my altar. Wasn't there. Yeah. So, I finally got really fed up a couple weeks ago, maybe 2+ weeks ago, give or take. And that day, I did pull the Nine of Cups for that time frame too. So yeah, the wish card. So I actually put the energy out there. I want my deck. Where is it? It was not in, from what I found in my altar room, in my living room where I last had it, or in my, basically my storage room. None of the above. So all of a sudden, again, because I was being directed different things as of previously by the spirits I work with and my guides and myself, it was in different places. Well, I was directed to come back out here in my altar room. Same spot I looked. Maybe I'm just delusional and deranged, who knows, possibly. But basically, it was right underneath where I'm sitting, right under the altar, and I know I looked there at least half a dozen times and felt there. So yeah, was something giving me a message? Yes. Do they often do that with my decks? I mentioned that before with the Nordic goddess Hel, and that the Murder of Crows deck, and the Kim Trance's, the Wild Unknown Tarot, that she likes to speak and channel through. So, yeah, not the first time, especially with decks, and I'm still missing a couple decks somewhere in this house, but they'll turn up, I guess, when they're meant to. And those I don't need at the moment anyways. They're not a major forefront in my practice and toolkit. Also missing things, obviously, the obvious we all know about is keys. Those are constantly moving. Papers that you look for, documents you know, and you're 100% certain you're placed in a certain spot. Yeah, things in, if you're a woman, in your purse, or a man in your wallet, your pockets. Yeah, that's a common thing. Is it potentially because we're overwhelmed as humans and have a lot to think about? Yes. Or is it magic and spirits or other things giving messages or guides or ancestors? Yes, I think it's a bit of both. So, paranormal, either way, that's paranormal. Let's see. This is getting long and rambling. Maybe I'll just mention one more for this, for the heck of it, hell of it. Paranormal spirits is seeing spirits. So I mentioned a couple of my experiences previously, especially from my youth and at other times. So to wrap this, at least this installment up, and if you do like this, maybe, or anyone finds value in this and likes my rambles, let me know, and possibly I will consider doing more. I have so much more to share and so much random things. Well, here's this one to wrap up. When you live in I lived, and my parents still live there. It was a huge family plot of land. Now family doesn't live there, other than my parents and my sister, and would be my second cousin, who she's in her 70s. Yeah. So basically the rest of the homes now belong, and it's only half of it's a dirt road, a seasonal road, and the other half is paved. And there is a total of 5 houses on that road, one being in my family, 2 that's still standing but been restructured, remodeled, whatever. My parents, and then my grandparents, now that it's owned by someone else and remodeled. The cousin I mentioned, and then would have been my great uncle's, he passed away a few years ago. So that one's been remodeled, at least that's what I've been told by my family. So that's irrelevant, other than that it's a dirt road and there is a lot of state land and woods around it. But a lot of very open field behind my parents' house. So as I mentioned, from the time I can remember, at least age 2 or 3, give or take, I remember seeing spirits and things hovering over my bed, all around me, hearing things, voices, knowing things, being whispered things, my bed being shaken, whatever the case. Eerie feelings where your hair pricks up and all that. Well, I'm just going to mention one of these random things from that area. There is a lot of portal energy in that area too. There's just something really messed up about that land. Let's just put it that way. There's good patches, there's bad patches, and a lot of mix of in between. A lot of high-powered energy. Yeah, let's put it that way. You could step 5 feet from one spot to another and you'll be in a different energetic field. We'll put it that way. So that attracts spirits, and that's also it, and being a witch. And I do know my lineage, at least from what I've studied for, and other family members of us, that we follow the path of magic and witchcraft and have gifts. Even those that do not practice, the gifts still reside. You don't have to be a practitioner to have the gifts or to utilize them. Well, utilize them for that aspect, should I say. But with there being portals and energies and eerie feelings and magic, and the useful energy of us children growing up on top of it, yeah. One of my experiences with those portals and seeing that was a period of, in that backfield, always scared the hell out of me, and it still does as an adult. And still, when I stay there now in the house, which was built when I was a teenager, which faces it, the bedroom in my old room, when I go and stay and visit and stay with my parents, then, yeah, I look out at it and sometimes I still see stuff. But I'm more grounded and more protective, and of course, I know much more what is there and working with and what to expect and not to expect, etc. Discernment, like the Ace of Swords. Use your logic. Use your tools. So, basically, there were several occasions when I was a child and even a teenager where you look out into that field at night, or you're outside, and I couldn't tell anyone really because no one would have believed me. Or, yeah, you think you're fucking crazy, perhaps, like I said. Perhaps my mind was creating its own shadows, yes, or manifesting that or attracting them because of my thoughts and my fears and anxieties. I often did not understand what I was seeing, so that plays into it. I was not fully aware of what mine was or my gifts, etc. But, so in the youth and as a teenager, through one of those portals back there in that field, spirits would step forth and manifest. I believe they were spirits of the dead. Now, I'm not talking, I'm talking some of the imagery at points. For one, just giving one quick example, is basically more than one occasion, step through, they look like zombies and kind of like the original Night of the Living Dead movie. So I'm thinking they were dead souls, and there's portals up there that have linking to the underworld and to the dead. Now, there's nothing wrong. I work with death energies and the underworld highly in my practice. That's where I'm guided and I have affinity to, and where my magic is partly drawn from. But at that point, I didn't know that. But I'm talking not one, I'm not talking a dozen, I'm talking hundreds, maybe perhaps. Yeah, you feel those coming across, slowly approaching the field, much like the original Night of the Living Dead movie. If you don't know it, then you can look up a clip on the YouTube about it. You'll see it. Slow-moving zombies, well, these are slow-moving spirits. But, yeah, I felt panic, oppression, not understanding. And could I created it because I always watched and been exposed to horror movies? But I do love them? Yes. Could I have attracted them because of being a witch and working and probably having a natural affinity carried over from past lives with underworld and death energies? Yes. Maybe that's what it was. Is it the portal and the land energy and the unsettled energy there doing it? Yes. Perhaps all of that. That's just one of the many paranormal experiences I've had with those portals and that energy and spirits there. But just as a relative example. These are just a few random ramblings. I feel compelled to. Again, thanks for, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for sitting with me. And yes, please like, comment, and subscribe as it helps my channel grow. And if you enjoy my ramblings and my crazy paranormal experiences as a woman and a witch in this human experience. And with that, stay strange.